Sagittarius. The witch has seen you and knows what you are capable of doing. Have you ever felt a cold breeze gently brushing the back of your neck, while everything around you remained completely still? As if an invisible gaze was watching you. Not with threat, but as if it wanted to send you a message from something ancient? A silent yet powerful presence. As if something is about to be revealed. Today, I am not here to teach you anything. I am simply the messenger. A message from the universe, from ancient souls, and from your very destiny. If you are here, if you hear this, it is not a coincidence. It is because a witch has seen you. And not only has she seen you, she knows exactly who you are, what you can do, and why the world needs you at this precise moment. Stay with me until the very end, because what you are about to hear may be the final piece you've been searching for in your journey. And if your heart feels something moving, leave a comment as a commitment. I am ready to embrace my great destiny. Not just words, but a signal sent to the higher realms, where miracles begin to take shape. And if this touches something very real inside you, like a hidden corner of your soul, leave a like, share this video, as a way to spread light to those who need to be reached. Because you are not alone. We are a network of light. And light always recognizes light in the dark. Sagittarius. You are not an ordinary soul. You are a bearer of purpose. A traveler between layers of consciousness. Between the material world and the spiritual realm. You have journeyed far, through harsh challenges. Through nights that felt endless. There were times when you thought life was only a string of losses. But in truth, every wound you carry is a portal, leading to the depth of your being. The witch has seen that in you. A light so powerful that even those who were hired to harm you had to step back. You don't need to fight anymore. Because your very presence makes the darkness tremble. Perhaps you don't believe this. Because you are humble. Because you've grown used to doubting yourself. But look again. You are still here. Still standing. Still open-hearted. Still believing in goodness. Isn't that strength? And do you know what's strange? Those who pretended to love you are stepping away. Those who once made you doubt your worth are in turmoil. Not because you sought revenge, but because divine justice always arrives on time. And you are living proof of that. They tried to make you doubt your intuition. But deep down, you've always known. You knew who was real, who was false. You knew when to stay, and when to walk away. And today, I'm here to say, you are not crazy. You are not weak. You are a chosen soul. You carry a kind of light that cannot be hidden. And it's not just the harmful ones who are drifting away. Someone who once broke your heart, is quietly thinking of you. Even if they don't say it out loud. Their heart is still tied to you in ways logic cannot explain. They were influenced by a dark energy. A kind of spiritual blockage. But you, with your sincere love, your silent prayers, your strength within your softness, you helped awaken them. And now, they are returning. Not as they once were, but with a heart more bare, more honest. And you have the right to choose. To forgive, or to let go. Whatever you choose, remember. You no longer need anyone to complete you. You are already whole. And those who enter your life from this moment on will be worthy. And then, you will see, a new door is opening in your career. An opportunity you thought you had missed. A dream you once hid away. Now it is returning. This time with all the resources you need. Jupiter, your ruling planet, is moving. And it is guiding you through a gate of abundance that has never opened before. No need to compete. No need to convince anyone. You just need to be yourself. Aligned. In tune. And everything will find its way to you. But only if you dare to release what no longer serves you. Old relationships. Outdated burdens. Stories you've held onto for too long just because you feared change. Now is the time to fly. And if you're still here with me at this point, you are the chosen one. You are not just listening to a tarot message or an astrology reading. You are receiving a reminder from the higher realms. A calling. Say it with me. I am light. I am Sagittarius. And I am ready. Write it down as a vow. As a gateway opening. And when you are ready, the universe will not make you wait. Because the best things often come right after the moment you think you can't wait any longer. Have you ever wondered, why have I felt different since I was a child? Maybe you were the child who always looked out the window, dreaming of distant lands you'd never been to. Maybe you sat in a crowd, yet felt alone. As if your soul was listening to a sound no one else could hear. And maybe it hurt. Maybe you blamed yourself for not being like everyone else. But now, let me say this to you clearly and firmly. That difference was never a flaw. It is the proof that you were chosen. Chosen to clear the path. Chosen to awaken. Chosen to shine light where others can only see darkness. I have spent over 50 years studying star charts and soul trajectories. And if there is one thing in common among the souls who carry a great mission, it is this. They are not born into ease. Sagittarius is the sign of truth, of the journey to seek and transcend. But here is the paradox. You cannot find truth if you have never lived an illusion. You cannot fly high if you have never been bound by the limitations others placed upon you. And you cannot become a guide if you have never been lost. The years when you thought you had failed, when you believed you had taken the wrong path, were in fact the most important chapters of your life. Because there, you learned what no book could teach. How to rise from your own wreckage. Perhaps you were once someone who always tried to please everyone. You shrank yourself so others could feel comfortable. You buried your dreams just to maintain a false harmony. But the truth is, every time you did that, a part of your soul was wounded. Because Sagittarius did not come to live neatly within the lines. You came to disrupt the outdated patterns, to question empty beliefs, and to redraw the map of a life that truly matters. So if you have ever felt out of place, have ever been rejected or left out, don't let it make you feel small. Let it be a sign that you were never meant to live an ordinary life. And because you are so unique, the challenges you face have never been small. While others may reach the finish line in a single loop, you must climb mountains, cross forests, face the storms within yourself. That's because you are not just living for yourself. Every lesson you learn, every wound you heal, is releasing energy not just for you, but for your ancestral line, for your community, and for those who will come after you. You are not just an individual. You are a bridge, a path opener. And that requires a strong heart. Not the kind of strength that clenches, but the kind that knows when to let go. I know there are nights when you lie awake, not because of insomnia, but because your soul is traveling an inner journey. You feel something greater is waiting, but you don't know where to begin. Let me share this with you. The first step is not action, it is self-recognition. Sagittarius is the centaur, half horse, half human, half instinct, half intellect. You are the union of wildness and wisdom. of freedom and purpose. When you balance those two forces, you no longer live just for yourself. You become a channel of energy, a bridge between earth and sky. And the first thing the Witch of Light saw in you was your eyes. The eyes that see through masks. The eyes that have witnessed things you've never dared to tell anyone. The eyes that saw truth even when your heart wasn't ready to accept it. And now, the universe is sending you a clear message. It is time to stop pretending you don't see. It is time to rise. Not to fight, but to claim your light. It is time to remember who you are. And to move forward with all the truth, compassion, and courage in your heart. Maybe you've grown too used to putting others first. You are the one who always wants to help, to understand, to love, even when you are the only one trying. But today, let me make this clear. You, too, deserve to be chosen. Not everyone who comes close deserves to stay. Not everyone who smiles is a friend. And not everyone who needs you is someone you need. It's time you realized that your presence is a gift. That when someone walks out of your life, they are not taking anything from you. That value was always yours. They are simply making space for something better. Do you feel like life is asking you to clear everything out? Old emotions, exhausted relationships, uninspiring jobs, habits that drain you. All that is falling apart is not punishment. It is preparation. Just like the forest must burn to be reborn. Like the ocean must calm for you to hear your own calling. The transformation you are going through, though painful, though unclear, is the final step before the miracle activates. And you don't have to do it alone. Because the universe is working with you. The Witch of Light, the soul guide, has seen you. And when they see you, everything begins to change. If what I'm saying touches something deep and private in you, leave a word in the comments. Not because I need to know, but because when you write it down, you affirm it to yourself. You connect with the energy field moving around you. Write this. I am ready to live aligned with my light. And if you feel someone else needs to hear this, share the video. Because you never know. Sometimes a message like this can save a soul standing on the edge of collapse. Now, take a deep breath. Because in the next part, I will tell you about the forces that have tried to hide your light. And why those who once tried to harm you are now trembling before your awakening. There is something I want you to hear with your whole heart. Not just with your mind. You have been watched. Not only by those who love you, but also by those who cannot stand the light you carry. There are eyes that once smiled at you, but deep down, hoped you would fall. There are well wishes that hid simmering jealousy. And there are seemingly harmless gestures that were actually signs of energy manipulation. The saddest part is, sometimes the ones closest to you, those dearest to your heart, are the ones who have sent the lowest vibrations your way. Not because you did anything wrong, but because you dared to be real. In a world full of pretense, your courage is a threat to those who haven't yet dared to be true. I know that when you begin to awaken spiritually, you don't just see beautiful things. You also begin to feel the invisible layers of energy surrounding others, unspoken emotions, thoughts never voiced. And you start to see more clearly who is real and who is not. Who stands by you out of love, and who out of convenience. At first, this hurts. Because you don't want to believe you placed your trust in the wrong hands. But over time, you understand that all of this didn't come to break your faith, but to sharpen your intuition. To help you realize your kindness should not be wasted, and your light should not be taken for granted. I want you to remember one thing. What you have been through was not random. The times you were betrayed behind your back. The baseless rumors. The moments you asked yourself, what did I do wrong? They were all spiritual tests. They didn't come to destroy you. They came to prove that you've entered a higher frequency, where your light begins to shake the space around you. Because when you shine, darkness will try to approach. But true light doesn't fear darkness. It simply needs to remember it is light. And everything changes from there. The Witch of Light, watching you from afar, saw this clearly. She saw who was pretending to support you, who admired you but secretly wanted to replace you. She saw silent actions, unspoken curses, jealousy disguised as friendship. And she saw something that gives me chills to recall. There were forces trying to reach you indirectly, through your closest connections. Through the negative emotions they planted in you. Through the doubts they stirred in your mind. This is no longer a minor matter. This is energy warfare. But what moves me is this. You did not respond with hatred. You didn't retaliate. You chose silence. You chose forgiveness. And you chose to keep walking. You may not know this, but your silence became your strongest shield. The love you held in your heart dissolved waves of darkness. Your consistent light made those who acted wrongly face consequences without you ever lifting a finger. Because divine justice never sleeps. And the Witch of Light, who was once hired to harm you, turned back. Not because you threatened her, but because she saw behind you a sacred light. A force she could not interfere with. And so, instead of causing harm, she chose to protect you silently. She used the same coins given to curse you, to open paths for you. And from that moment, your destiny began to shift. There is something strange about people who live aligned with their light. They don't need to fight, the world adjusts around them. The fake ones expose themselves. The misaligned ones walk away. The toxic doors close. And the sacred gateways open. That's when you realize. Energy never lies. And true love never looks like pretense. Have you ever experienced someone constantly criticizing you, nitpicking your words and actions, yet unable to walk away? It's because they both fear and admire you. They don't understand how you remain standing in the storm. They can't explain why you haven't broken after betrayal. But you and I know the answer. Because you believed. Believed in something higher, deeper, more sacred than all else. That you are here not to live in fear, but to awaken those who are still asleep. You are creating change, not through grand actions, but through your presence. Every time you choose silence over argument. Every time you choose forgiveness over resentment. Every time you choose to walk away from what no longer fits. That is how you help heal the world. You don't have to be perfect. You only have to be true. And just that alone is enough to shake the universe. If what I've said brings you comfort, if it makes you feel seen, leave a comment. I allow myself to walk away from what no longer aligns. Not for anyone else to read, but to officially close that old door. To send a clear signal to the heavens that you are ready for the new chapter. And if you think this might help someone else, share the video. Because you never know, a soul standing at a crossroads might only need to hear one message to find their way again. And now, take my hand in this imagined energy space. Because in the next part, I will take you deep into love. Where a soul still remembers you, still searches for a way back. But this time, it is no longer a game. It is a chance for two souls to meet again. On a higher, more honest, more sacred frequency. Love is one of the deepest and most mysterious lessons a soul is sent to Earth to learn. It does not follow logic. It doesn't go according to plan. It's not always fair, and it's rarely simple. But that's exactly why it is what makes us truly alive. I don't know whose image you hold in your heart, but I know this for certain. Someone once made your heart tremble in a way you can never forget. Not because they were perfect, but because when you were with them, something deep within you felt like home. As if your soul had known them from another lifetime. As if among millions, only their eyes could silence you and stay in your memory forever. And if now, you still think of them, if part of you still waits for their return, even though your mind has tried many times to let go, then let me tell you this, slowly and gently. It's not because you are weak. It's because that love touched your soul. And when a love reaches the soul, it leaves an echo, no matter how much life may change. I know you've been incredibly strong. You've learned to smile when they turned away. You've learned to tuck away the beautiful memories into a quiet corner of your heart, just to keep going. But there's something you never knew. That person has thought of you too. Not once, but many times. In empty nights. In moments when everything on the outside seemed complete. But inside, there was a void only you could fill. You may ask yourself, if they think of me, why didn't they come back? Why didn't they say anything? Why did they let me go without holding on? I'll answer you with a truth I've witnessed in many souls. Some people truly love, but they aren't mature enough to keep it. Some people see your value, but they fear the light you carry. They're not afraid you'll hurt them. They're afraid they're not enough for you to love. And they choose to leave. Not because you weren't worthy, but because they didn't yet have the courage to be worthy of you. Love is not just about meeting the right person, but meeting at the right time. Some love arrives at the wrong moment, when both hearts are still wounded, still unsure of themselves, and believe the other is supposed to heal them. But true love doesn't work that way. It's not salvation. It's two whole beings choosing each other. Not out of need, but out of fullness. And maybe you are at that stage now, where you've learned to lift yourself up. No longer waiting to be saved. Where you know that if someone returns, you'll look at them through the eyes of wisdom, not just emotion. I used to think that loving someone meant staying no matter what. But then I learned one of the deepest lessons of my life. Some love is only truly beautiful when you let go at the right time. Not because you stopped loving, but because you realized love should never cost you yourself. And my dear, if you ever lost yourself in love, forgive yourself. You were just learning. Learning to love. Learning to give. Learning to protect yourself. And when you've learned, the universe will bring you a new love. Not loud. Not dramatic. But deep enough to make you feel peaceful. As if you found the true home of your soul. I can't promise that person will return, or that you'll meet someone new. But I can promise this. You won't love the old way again. You won't love to be validated. You'll love because you choose to love. You'll walk beside someone, not to feel complete, but because you are already whole. And you want to share that. If you're reading this and feel your eyes sting, if a certain face comes to mind, know this is not random. It's a sign. A sign that you are awakened enough to look at your love story with honesty. Without blame. Without resentment. Just looking. Understanding. And receiving the lesson your soul needed. Because every love that passed through your life left a gift. Sometimes the gift is in the breaking. So you learn how to heal. Sometimes in the ending. So you learn how to stand alone. And sometimes it's in the pause. So the path clears for a deeper, truer love. Write in the comments as a declaration for your new love journey. I am ready to love authentically. I deserve to be loved with full respect and freedom. And if you feel someone needs to hear this, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. You may be the bridge for a soul also learning to heal from an old love. And when your heart begins to open again, not with fear, but with understanding, you'll see love start to change. You'll no longer need someone to prove anything. You'll only need their honest presence. No grand promises. Just being there when you need them. Hearing you, even when you're silent. Believing in you, even without explanations. You deserve that kind of love. And I believe, after everything you've been through, that love is now closer than ever. But before it arrives, keep your heart clean. Not heavy with blame. Not burdened by regret. Just a quiet space where love can take root and blossom. Now, I want you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And say to your heart, softly, like speaking to an old friend, thank you for loving. Thank you for being brave. Now, I am ready to love again. But this time, from wholeness. In the next part, we will step into a different realm of destiny. Career, finances, and the hidden potential within you. Because when the heart has healed, it is time to rise into a greater mission, where not only you are healed, but the world around you is lit through your presence. I have met many people who had everything, wealth, status, fame. But their eyes were empty. Their hearts tired. And then I met people like you. Maybe you don't yet have everything you dream of. But you keep walking. Keep giving. Keep sowing love. And I know, if there is any hope left in this world, it's because of people like you. You're standing at a crossroads in your career. On one side is the old path. Stable, but no longer inspiring. On the other side is the new one. Uncertain, challenging. Yet it calls your name every time you close your eyes. I can't choose for you. But I can remind you of this. Your soul never whispers dreams just to tease you. If there is a desire still burning quietly in your heart, if there is a gift you've hidden away because you told yourself, it's not the right time, then maybe, just maybe, that time is now. You don't have to abandon everything to start over. Sometimes, all it takes is to begin believing that you can. Believe that what you carry, compassion, wisdom, insight, and the ability to connect with others, these are the very things the world needs most right now. You don't have to become someone else. You only have to return to yourself. The version of you that never apologized for dreaming big. For loving deeply. For living fully. I know financial concerns can make you uneasy. You've stayed up countless nights worrying about numbers. You've turned down opportunities out of fear. But let me say this, with deep respect. Money is not the enemy. Money is energy. And when you begin living in alignment with your true values, that energy will flow to you naturally. The universe doesn't reward exhaustion. It responds to wholeness. When you do something with a pure heart, for a purpose greater than yourself, the universe will find ways to support you. Think back for a moment. How many times have you helped someone unconditionally? How many times have you shared without expecting anything in return? How many times have you been a source of light for others? Even when you felt lost yourself? None of those moments disappeared. They've been recorded in another layer of energy. And when you least expect it, the reward will come. Not in the form you imagined, but as an opportunity. A relationship. A coincidence that changes everything. The universe always finds a way to return what was truly sown. If you've been wondering, am I too late for my own life? Here is my answer: no. You are not late. You are simply on your way back to yourself. And every delay was the universe rearranging your path, so that when you arrive, everything is already in place. Write a commitment in the comments, one to yourself and your journey. I am ready to open my heart to my soul's mission. My career is not just a job, it is how I bring light into the world. And if you know someone standing at the crossroads between passion and responsibility, share this message. Maybe this is the light they need in their darkest hour. We weren't born just to work and fade away. We came here to leave a mark through the way we live. And I believe you are doing that. Every single day. Even in the smallest acts. You are the seed of a brighter future. And when you walk with awareness, you don't just change your own life. You shift the world around you. In the next part, I want to take you deep into the most sacred layer of your birth chart, where the soul truly begins to awaken. We'll talk about inner transformation, intuition, dreams, and messages from the unseen world. Because career isn't only an external thing. True career is an internal awakening. There's one thing no one teaches us when we're young. That intuition is the first language our soul uses to speak to us. Before you knew how to talk. Before you knew how to think. Even before you learned how to love or fear. Your heart already felt. That's why sometimes you can't explain why you feel uneasy around someone who seems kind. Or why you trust someone instantly after a single look. It's not just a fleeting emotion. It's your soul speaking. And I believe you've heard it many times in your life. But because society taught us to be logical, to need proof, you learned to doubt yourself. You learned to ignore that sting in your heart when someone lied. You learned to stay silent when your soul wanted to scream. But now, you no longer need to stay quiet. Because you've lived enough. You've awakened enough to understand. Intuition never lies. It may tell you things you're not ready to hear. But it always tells the truth. I once lived a long time disconnected from my intuition. I followed reason. I chased what seemed right. I ran after success. Until everything collapsed. Not because I wasn't good enough. But because I had abandoned the voice within. I had turned away from the deepest, strongest, most honest part of myself. And the day I came back to that voice was the day my life began to change. I learned to sit in stillness. To read dreams as messages. To listen when my body ached. And to believe, even when there was no proof. You may be in that very phase right now. The phase where your dreams start to become stranger. The phase where you keep seeing repeating numbers on the clock, 11:11, 22:22, or 3:33. The phase where you think of someone, and they suddenly appear. The phase where your heart sometimes aches for no clear reason. It's not that you're being overly sensitive. It's that you are opening. Opening to a new frequency. Opening to a higher vibration. Opening to a deeper, purer version of yourself. You may have felt lonely during this process. Awakening is not always pleasant. It doesn't happen under dazzling lights. It comes in the dark nights. When you collapse on the floor and ask yourself, who am I really? And if you've ever been in that night, then congratulations. You've touched yourself. And from that place, anew you will emerge, no longer living for validation. No longer living to please, but living to truly live. I want you to try remembering, during your hardest times, who stayed with you. And if the answer is, it was me, then you already have everything you need. Because your soul has never left you, no matter how many times you fell. No matter how long you forgot yourself, the moment you returned, your soul opened its arms to you. No blame, no resentment. Just gentle silence, like a mother's embrace. And from that space, you'll know, the answers have always been inside you. If you feel something within you being awakened, if you sense a calling you can't quite name yet, then I invite you to do something simple. Place your hand on your heart. Close your eyes, and ask, what does my soul want to tell me today? Don't rush for answers, just ask, and listen. It may come as a feeling, an image, a whisper. That is the beginning. And when you practice this often enough, you will no longer live from fear. You will live from connection. As a Sagittarius, you carry a powerful intuition. You see what others miss. You are not just an inspiration, you are a gatekeeper, a guide, a forerunner of change, and that's why you've often felt out of place in a world where most people live only on the surface. But that isn't a punishment. It is preparation. You are being prepared to raise your vibration, to raise yourself, and then raise others. My dear, if what I've said brings tears to your eyes, or simply slows your heartbeat, then leave a message as a vow to the universe. I am ready to live by the calling of my soul. I open my heart to receive everything that belongs to me at the deepest level. And if you feel this video could be light for a soul on their awakening path, please don't hesitate to share it, because light only finds its true meaning when it is shared. We've journeyed together this far, from doubt, pain, love, career, to the deepest gateway. Soul awakening. But this is not the end. This is the true beginning. Because once you know who you are, what you want, and you're ready to live that truth, nothing can stop you. I've always believed one thing: when a woman's soul awakens, the entire world around her changes. And you, the one listening to this, you're already doing that. Day by day, moment by moment, step by conscious step, you are rewiring the thread of destiny. And I, here, only want to say one final thing. I'm proud of you. Now that all the doors have opened, from old wounds, missed soulmates, to sacred mission and intuition, we are arriving at the final part of this journey. But my love, do you know? This is not the end. This is just a pause, a soft breath, before you soar farther than ever before. I want you to sit with me for one more moment. No rush. Just presence, true presence, right here. In this moment, with yourself. Close your eyes for a moment. If you wish, listen to the beat of your heart. Listen to your breath rising and falling like a gentle song your soul has known for lifetimes. And remember, every breath is proof that you're still here, and you are still chosen. I know you've been through so much. Maybe a divorce after years of building together. The sudden loss of someone you loved. Getting pushed out of a job because of your age. Because you were too honest. Too different. There are wounds no one ever apologized for. Things you had to bury just to keep living. But look at you now, still soft. Still kind. And still brave enough to love again. To believe again. To begin again, even when the world made you doubt yourself. Not everyone is brave enough to awaken. Not everyone is strong enough to choose the light. When darkness feels easier, but you chose, and that choice placed you on a path more sacred than anything else, the path of returning to yourself. I may not know your name, may never have heard your voice, but I feel your soul. A soul that has wanted to give up many times, yet quietly kept going. A soul worthy of being called light in an ordinary world. But I know this for sure. You are not here by accident. You are a living part of a grand cosmic design. Every emotion you've overcome, every tear you've shed, every time you stood back up, each has helped heal the world. And if today, you take away only one thing from this video, let it be this: you are worthy. Not because you've done enough, tried enough, or been good enough, but because you are you, and that is enough. Before we say goodbye, I want to invite you to do one thing, not for me, but for yourself. Write in the comments as a final ritual for this journey: I give myself permission to live fully. I allow myself to be loved, to be healed, and to rise in the calling of my soul. Write it, so your heart remembers, so your soul nods, and so the universe knows you are ready. If this video has touched you, awakened something long forgotten, please share it. Not just to spread it, but so you become a torchbearer. Because sometimes, all a soul needs is one timely word, one video on the right day, one person, like you, choosing to share the sacred. I'll be here, waiting for you in the next video. But until then, take this blessing from me, and from all the stars watching over you from afar: you are light. You are Sagittarius, and you are ready for the next chapter of your destiny. To you, who is hearing this with your whole heart, I see you, I believe in you, and I walk with you. See you in the next chapter of the journey.